Hello everyone, I'm Astha Sharma. Again, fun-filled session on machine learning in front of you. Before we get started with the new session that is why and what is multivariate regression, would like to recap what we have learned in the previous classes. In the previous classes, we have understood what are the factors which are going to impact a machine learning prediction model. We have learned linear regression, how two columns are going to be interdependent and how you are going to predict basis on that using scikit-learn. In today's session, we are majorly focused upon multivariate regression, which means how one column is dependent on three or four different factors. For example, imagine you are trying to guess how well your friend will do in their final examination. But instead of just guessing, you use helpful information like how many hours your friend studied, how many hours he or she has attended the classes, and how well your friend did on their assignments. These each information is valid and very important, like study hours, attendance, assignment scores are called independent variables, and the exam score is dependent on all these independent variables. And because it depends on those factors, when we use two or more of these factors, those predictions are based upon those particular factors, multi-factors, that is called multivariate regression. And that's why it is like multi-variable. There are different variables on which your prediction is dependent upon. And that is what we will be calculating in today's class. Let's start with a very basic idea. Multivariate regression is just a method we use when we want to predict one thing based on two or more other variants. For example, we want to predict a student's final score or your friend's final score. That score might depend on things like how many hours they studies, what they are going to do, as we have just discussed. The formula you see here is just a way to write this idea using maths. Each x is different factor and y is what we are trying to predict. That means the score. And these different x are interrelated or independent values on which y is dependent upon. All right. Means if you are going to change x, y is going to be impacted. So this is what we are going to do. Before we get started with our Visual Studio Code and we start coding, would like to know, do you remember all those four steps which we are going to use in all prediction models? We'll give you 1 minute to think about it and then we are going to get started. Though I'm going to reiterate all those four factors or steps. Step number one, you are going to use pandas and you are going to create the data frame to fetch or to read your CSV. First of all, you are going to understand the data set. Then you are going to get started by fetching the data, read the data, and then you are going to find the pattern in it by visualizing it using Matplotlib library. Why it is important to visualize? Visualization is going to help you whether your data has certain patterns or it has random entries in it. Because as you know, that randomness in the data is going to impact the prediction. You will get false value or maybe false prediction, which is going to fail the model, or your accuracy percentage is going to be depreciated or decreased. So with that, let's quickly understand. So today's data set I will be providing you. You are going to work on the same data. You can take that from your data set or resources, and we are going to work on that. I'm going to first explain how the data looks like and what you are going to do with the data. Let's understand more about this multivariate regression. We are going to use heat map to visualize the data, which is to find a pattern. Now, what this heat map does. Now, let's look at a tool which helps us see relationship between variables that is called heat map. A heat map uses colors to show how strong the connection is between different variables. So basically, we are talking about correlation between the data. For examples, if two factors are strongly related, the color might be dark red. If they are not related, it might be light blue. In regression, we use heat map to check for patterns. As I have already shared with you, without patterns, you cannot make any prediction. So this is the most important step which we are going to understand and which we are going to follow. Step number three, first of all, we are going to visualize the data, whether your data is clean, correct, and is there any pattern or not. Once you have visualized the pattern in it, what you are going to do, you are going to split the data into test and train. Thereafter, you are going to get started with the training segment, right? So these are all steps which we are going to follow. In regression, we use heat maps to check the patterns, spot variable that are too similar or just make our data easier to understand so that you can run more analysis. Now, let's quickly get started with it. Let's see what are the benefits which you will be getting using heat maps. So one by one in these classes, I'll make you familiar what are the key factors which you will be using, and those are going to be helpful for machine learning predictions. So why do we use heat maps? Because they make our job easier. First, they give us a quick look at what's going on in your data. Second, they help us pick the best variable to use. We can remove ones that don't help or might increase the accuracy, depreciate value. And the third, they make it much easier to understand and explain our results to others, especially when working with big data analysis. So let's quickly get started. Let's open our Visual Studio Code and quickly get started. First of all, I'm going to go to the data and I'm going to explain the data in front of you. Let me quickly explain the data. Let's open the sheet. Everyone, here is the sheet with which we are going to work. The data set is all about how a student is going to get admission based on their GRE score, TOEFL score, university rating, SOP, LOR, CGPA, research, and what are going to be admission chances in it. So I am going to provide this CSV file among all of you so that you are also going to practice the same. So here you can see there are GRE scores of all individuals, and we have a lot of data this time because that is also one of the needs. Though you can take the data like much more than that, because this is also, I'll say, less data because I myself have created it so that I'm going to avoid getting errors in it. The second is TOEFL score. TOEFL score also you can see, because higher the score, there are better chances that you are going to get the admission. Then we have university rating, how you are doing in the university, whether you have taken extracurricular activities, how you have performed in there. So these are SOP, LOR, and CGPA are part of it. Then we have research, how well you have done in the practicals, research subject, or industry exposure you have received. And then we have admission chances based upon all these. So basically, this is going to be your output, and these are all your input factors. I hope you have understood what is your independent variable. So GRE, TOEFL, university rating, SOP, LOR, CGPA, research. These are all your independent variables. Admission chance is one such column which is going to be impacted by your GRE score, TOEFL score, university rating, SOP, LOR, and CGPA, right? So I hope you have understood it. If I'm going to scroll down, you'll be able to see. As of now, what we are going to see, when we have more than one factors which are involved in getting the output, then we have to visualize it first, because as of now, when you have a lot of data without creating any pattern chart, it is difficult to find out whether there is any pattern or not. So for that, we are going to use matplotlib library seaborn, with which, with the help of heat maps, we will be creating the chart and to see the correlation with each column. Let me make you understand that. जब तक आप किसी कॉलम के अंदर डिपेंडेंसी या फिर कोरिलेशन नहीं निकालते हो, डिफिकल्ट होता है ये समझना कि उसके अंदर कुछ फैक्टर्स हैं जो इन्वॉल्व है या नहीं है, बिकॉज हम मशीन लर्निंग प्रेडिक्शन तब तक रन नहीं कर सकते जब तक मशीन लर्निंग के पैटर्न में कोई डिपेंडेंसी ना हो, मींस कोई पैटर्न ही ना हो। और पैटर्न हमें कैसे पता चलेगा? जब लार्ज अमाउंट में हमारे पास डेटा होता है, उस डेटा को रीड करने के लिए हम एक एक डेटा को रिलेट नहीं कर सकते मैन्युअली, इट बिकम्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट। फर्स्ट क्लास में इट वाज इजी बिकॉज हमने सिर्फ दो ही कॉलम्स लिए थे। राइट नाउ वी हैव 8 कॉलम्स, एज यू कैन सी ए बी सी डी ई एफ जी एच। 7 कॉलम्स है जो इंडिपेंडेंट है, 8 कॉलम है जो बाकी 7 कॉलम से डिपेंडेंट है। अब इसमें कुछ डेटा ऐसा भी हो सकता है जो लीस्ट डिपेंडेंसी आपको दे रहा हो, जिससे आपका कोई बेनिफिट नहीं है। वो आपको पता चलेगा व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू क्रिएट दैट पैटर्न, एंड दैट यू विल गेट टू नो बाय यूजिंग मैटप्लॉटलिब। जब आप चार्ट को, पैटर्न को विजुअलाइज करने के लिए निकालोगे, देन यू विल गेट टू सी कि किसके अंदर कितना पैटर्न आपके पास है। So let's quickly open Visual Studio Code and let's quickly write our codes. All right. So we are going to open Visual Studio Code, and in Visual Studio Code, we are going to follow the same steps. First of all, we are going to import the libraries. Once we have imported all the libraries, what we are going to do, we are going to get started with fetching the data, creating the data frame. So let's quickly get started. I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to open Visual Studio Code in front of you. So I'm going to open this. We have Visual Studio Code over here. You are going to create a new file, name that file as multi-regression. With multi-regression, you will be getting started with it. So the first thing which you are going to do, import pandas as PD. I'm going to remove the space because that is going to include error. The second you are going to do, import seaborn as SNS, import matplot dot by plot as plt matplotlib. Yeah. And then I'm going to get started. Seaborn or scikit-learn, we are going to do little later. First of all, what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to fetch our data. To fetch the data, what you are going to do, you are going to create a PD. PD means you are going to create a data function. For data function, what you needed to do? Let me quickly get started with it. You are going to define as df, that is for data frame, is equals to pd dot read and read CSV. And read CSV we are going to take from there. Let me just put, okay, this. And I'm going to go and I'm going to fetch the file for that. Let's take the file location. I'm going to go back over here on the desktop, machine learning, and this is admission. I'm going to open copy path as, I'm going to go back, paste. Make sure that you are going to remove double quotes like this. This is how you are going to fetch the data. I hope this part is clear among all of you. We have been following the same steps. Then to see what you can do, you can just print DF to actually see whether it is able to read it or not. Mhm. Output. I have to see GTP, joint technologies. Yeah. When you are going to print that, you'll be able to see. And this is how the terminal looks like. So all the values, as you can see, GRE, this is score, TOEFL score. I can show you. Let me just move it a little bit up. And here you are going to get all the values. So this is how you are going to run all values. And these values you can visualize. Now we are going to get started with our pie plot. And let's understand how it is going to do. So we are going to call SNS and we are going to create the heat map. So how you are going to do that? SN, this is the same step which we are doing. Heat map. And what we are going to do, data will be is equals to DF dot CORR, that is for correlation. CORR is for correlation, not CPCORR, correlation. And correlation you wanted to show ANNOT, that is for the annotation, is equals to true. This is what you are going to do, and then PLT dot show. Let's see if we are able to create that heat map. You are going to run. And here is what you are able to see. This is our heat map. I'm going to increase the size and let's understand the correlation in it. So as you can see, the last column is the most important. It is going to decide whether the student is going to get the score admission or not. With GRE score, it is 80% chances. TOEFL, it is approximately 80% chances. And this is just one. So 0.55, there is nothing. This is 0.55. If it is less than 50%, then you can eliminate this particular research part from it. Else, everything, this is also 87, 67, 68, 71, 79, and 80. So these are all factors which are included. I hope, I think you are getting and you are correlating with it. These are all factors which are going to work accordingly. And accordingly, we are going to see. Over here, research, you can see this admission chance is higher. We can eliminate the research. Let's eliminate it and let's see how this is going to impact it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly go to my Excel sheet and I'm going to eliminate it. I'm going to go over here. And for this purpose, I'm just going to delete it as of now. Right. And now I'm going to close this figure. I'm going to just read it again. And this time, let's see. Now, can you see? It is right now not going to impact it. However, research is still there. I'm going to reread the data set once again. I'm going to save. Basically, I have not saved it. Yeah. Now I think I'm going to do. I'm going to again take the path, copy as path, and I'm going to put over here. I'm going to delete the double quotes. Yeah. And now I'm going to run. Yeah. Now see, we have 87, 67, 68, 71. Now, when you are going to create your prediction model, what impact you are going to get in that? there will be higher accuracy. Higher accuracy means you are going to get greater accuracy when you are going to apply it. This is what heat map does for you. Now you can see the correlation. Over here, when you are going to this, admission chance is higher when your GRE score is there, right? You can see. This is how the correlation is happening. And there is a particular formula for correlation. When you are going to Google it, how the correlation is being calculated, you'll get that. And you have read it in 11th and 12th also, right? So you can research, you can run. So let me quickly research and I'm going to share with you correlation formula. And you'll get this. This is the correlation formula where you have all the x values and y values and then the mean value, mean square root value of that. So this is how correlation coefficient is being calculated. And in the first slide also, I have shared with you how you are going to calculate. Based on that calculation, this graph is being created. All right. Now we are going to run, we are going to start the prediction. Now we can see that GRE, TOEFL, university. So all of these are related when it is 80% admission chances also there. When this is 79%, this is there. So these are impacting admission chances. Higher the number, higher the chances. So this is the correlation which we have found. It means there is dependency, there is a pattern. And now we are going to run our analysis. Now we are going to call upon scikit-learn library to test and train, and the similar steps we are going to follow. So quickly get started. Let's import scikit-learn. Okay, everyone, now we are going to follow the same step. We are going to call upon our scikit-learn library and we are going to split the data into two parts. One is going to be testing and training. Let's quickly do that. First of all, we are going to call upon the library, that is import, or not exactly import, from sklearn dot model selection. We are going to import train test split. With this, we usually split and then we are going to run our analysis from sklearn.linear linear model import linear regression. So these are two things which we are going to do. Now the next part which we are going to show, that we are going to define x is equals to, what is going to be our x, because in the previous class, if you remember, we defined it. So we are going to split, we are going to put input and output both. So x is equals to df, and df we are going to keep. So over here, if you remember that we have dropped the value. So what you are going to do, how the dropping value was, so basically df dot drop. We are going to, so basically over here, if you are going to see in the data which we were working with, so what we were going to do, admission. So when I'm going to open this, so admission is just one column, which is our y, right? And these are all x. These are all our input. So what if we, from the entire, if we are going to drop the admission chance, which is y, are we going to get this? Right? So this is what we are going to do. So from the admission chance, which is our y, we are going to, or you can say from the entire sheet, from the admission sheet, we are going to drop admission chance. We are going to left with GRE, TOEFL, all the inputs. अगर हम सारे डेटा के अंदर से the data set which we have, that is admission data set, अगर हम पूरे admission data set के अंदर से एडमिशन चांस को ड्रॉप कर दे, तो हमारे पास क्या बचेगा? हमारे पास सिर्फ GRE स्कोर, जितने भी हमारे इनपुट फैक्टर्स हैं, दोज आर गोइंग टू बी देयर. सो यही चीज हम कोड में करेंगे. सो लेट्स क्विकली गो टू द कोड. सो व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू, df डॉट ड्रॉप, एग्जैक्टली हमने जिस तरीके से लास्ट टाइम किया था. आई एम गोइंग टू put double quotes and I'm going to go over here and drop this. Right? So this is what I'm going to drop. And यहाँ पे आपको एक चीज और करनी है. जैसे ही आप इसको ड्रॉप करोगे, आप लिखोगे AXIS axis is equals to 1. Make sure that you are going to mention that, because we are now considering it as a 2D model. Now you are going to define y. Our y is going to be same. Y is equals to df, and then you are going to put that value that is going to be yours years of admission chance. Once you are done with that, you are going to print both values just to check. You are going to print x values, that is print x, print y values, and then you are going to put print y. Now let's see how you are going to. So we have basically created both the values, and then we are going to run and see. So at the bottom, if you are able to see that we have x and y both values. So I'm going to, now we are going to run the splitting part. So for that, what you are going to do, you are going to put x, train, x, test, y, train, y, test is equals to train, test, split. And over there, what you are going to do, you are going to put the test size, x, train value. So what exactly is it going to help you with? So let's quickly do that. X is years of experience, x test, and y test. Okay. Y test. This is going to be our arrays. And basically, we are going to run this now. We are going to do the test size is equals to 0.2, random state is equals to 2. Let's this time. And now you are going to run the next one. Once you have done, so you are going to write print x test is, and now you are going to print text test. Okay. Similarly, you are going to copy this and paste over here, where you are going to write y test is not xy, only y, and here value you are going to change y test. Yeah. So this is what you are going to do. Once you will be running it, you're going to, okay, here, okay, what function test any. So यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा mistake हुआ. Let me just quickly check that what exactly is the mistake. XY, basically your X, Y, capital. Now this is correct. This needs to be closed to run the analysis. Now you can see all the analysis are there in front of you. One by one you are going to run. So all of it is getting. So this is done. Here is your Y test. Here is your X test. Y test is here. And all the values. X test is here. This is SOP, LOR, CGPA. So these are all values which you have done. So length is 80 and you have run it with pyplot. So all of it is done. Now basically what you are going to do now, the next which you will be running, you are going to create the model and you are going to fit onto it. So first of all, using linear regression, we are going to use and we are going to do. So in the next class, I'm going to explain all those factors among all of you with the help of which formula at the backend mathematical calculations are being done. That is what I'll be explaining in the next class and how you are going to run regression model on it. So let's quickly recap what we have learned in this class. In this class, basically, we have understood what is multivariate regression, how you are going to calculate when you have more input and it is going to be depending or the dependency on your output, how you are going to calculate. Steps are same, which we have followed in the previous class. All these we have learned. We have import the libraries. We have visualized the pattern. After visualizing the pattern, by using scikit-learn, we have segregated in test and train. In test and train, by defining the data frame, we have split the data and we have trained the data. Now we are going to use model fit and linear regression. With the help of that, we are going to further move ahead and create the prediction. So that is what we will be doing in the next class. So stay tuned. Thank you, everyone.